Hey folks, it's 12 June of 2024. I'm back at Athens by the river. I'm here to continue working on the spot I'd found. I got lucky. Nobody else come across it in almost a week I've been away. So we're going to see if we get lucky. What you haven't seen on video, on the previous video yet, because it hasn't been published, but the colors weren't too bad. Roughly a scoop of cons is giving up anywhere between 1 dozen and 2 dozen colors a hit. So I'm like, that's pretty doggone good, especially for a kid that hasn't gotten to dredge on a consistent basis for about 3 years now. So we're gonna get ready. I'm all souped up, dredge is in the water, all put together, fueled up. All I gotta do is get it turned on and get the nozzle in the water. Let's go. All right guys, here's the hole I left after I got out of here about a week ago. So you see the white rocks. These white rocks aren't white per se, they're calcified. They've got calcium coating. An old story about you run into that stuff. Generally, towards the bottom of it runs a somewhat thin to an inch thick clay layer, and their colors can be big, but generally aren't. But the colors are plentiful, and I'm hoping to expand upon this to see how much of that stuff is still here, running in the English is hard, kids. Running in a downstream direction and upstream, see if this is just a local pocket that got missed or something else going on entirely. Maybe it's a whole new exposure that we haven't gotten a chance to play with yet. Let's get her going. So I got into a red spot, a lot of red. I shot a little underwater video of the red, but this is only a half a tank, and then most of the riffles, most of the traps are loaded with a ton of black sand, and that's after I let it run. There's a speck right there. And yeah, it filled right in. I'm trying to make a shadow here. Doesn't seem to be doing. There we go. Look at how full this thing is. Only the very top 2 inches is not full. This thing's just positively loaded. I was ready to just go hog, and as I stopped. Something told me to stop. I had to see it. And yeah, we're going to do a quick cleanup on this. I've doubled about the size of the hole as far as what I went down, but I haven't gone down as much. And I'm working in a straight line. I'm still running into the calcified material. But I'm having an absolute ball today. So glad I came in for a little dredge therapy from work. This clears your mind. But if I can get in another pocket of that really, really intense red piled up material that's just caked up, it ain't loose, I'll show you all. Well, my full tank is done, and I worked out the pocket. it petered out going upstream and out into the middle of it and coming in. I got lucky back on the 6th and landed on a good spot. So anyway, right here where the hose is draped over the end of the start of the hole, actually is, and I actually come over about 3 feet. It lensed straight out. It lensed out here, and this is where it started. I don't know if you can make out my foot or not, but there it is. But right here is where it started, and at one point where the best stuff was, where these white rocks were, there was 3 layers. And rain got at maximum depth, maybe almost 2 foot thick, over 3-4 layers. But they lensed out really fast. This mat is not near as nice. This go around, you see a lot more not black sand in there, a lot more blonde garnet hanging out with it. There's some. I thought I saw 1 micro in here when I first flipped it up, but this is nearly as loaded up with heavies as it was on that first half tank. And I don't have enough time today to go hunt me another hole, because I'm probably going to be working again tomorrow. But we got a tank and a half in, so it was a good time. I'm happy I got out. I've made a commitment to myself to get a lot more time on this year. But stay tuned, folks. We'll get a cleanup and try to compare it against the first one, and we'll see how we did. And then now I got to go find another spot. And folks, it is 26 June, 2 weeks after I did that dredge run down there in Athens on the 12th. So finally getting around to painting the concentrate. If you forget, this is what it looked like. Get that out of there. Not as black as the last one, a little bit more lights in it. But we're going to get to it. I'm going to screen it off to a 12 mesh and then see what we get. See you on the other side. With the minor interruption for .com order from Walmart, we got the panning done. So let's do this dump out real quick. It ain't nothing spectacular. It was not as good as I'd hoped for. I thought maybe I'd got into some material that the dredge monkeys and everybody else that had a suction dredge in Athens had it just plain missed it. I know that pocket had been hit on either side, just by the way the sand, this nothing but flow sand for 18 inches. But in the end, it had been worked way in the past, but it did hold a little bit of color, a lot of micros. Hopefully this will show up on the camera. Give me a moment. There they are. A lot of little tinies. They're hard to focus on. I see them disappearing and coming back in on my viewfinder for this camera. And I'm pretty certain like half of them aren't even showing. I won't know until I get it on a larger screen. I think I got about 100 mesh and a couple of larger ones. So that was the result of running my dredge on 12 June, finishing out that pocket of really heavy stuff. That was loaded with black sand. I'd hoped to make the GPOM meeting on the following weekend, just this past weekend as a matter of fact. But I got chemical burned at work, and yeah, all my plans for Dominion over the superfine flower gold went right out the window with that one. Pretty much just staying at home for 7 days. So yeah, we're back on the overtime train, and hopefully we'll figure out when we can get ourselves back out there. My goal is to put the trommel to work here in the next week or two, and hopefully within a month my new to me high banker will be finally put together enough that I can actually try it out for the first time. So don't let the weather hold you back. Don't let anything else hold you down. If it ain't that important, don't forget to get outside. There's no better place to be. Thanks for watching, folks.